The massive alien ship appeared without warning above Earth's moon. It was longer than 10 city blocks and covered in strange metal that seemed to shimmer like water. Admiral Kexathera stood on the bridge of his cruiser, looking down at the small, blue planet through the viewing screen. He had conquered 47 worlds in his long career, and this one looked like it would be the easiest yet. "Commander Veltar, what do our scans show about their military strength?" the Admiral asked his second-in-command. Veltar looked at his display screen and laughed. "Sir, they have small metal ships that burn chemical fuel to move. Their biggest weapons are simple explosives. According to our data, they only left their own planet 50 years ago." The Admiral shook his head in amazement. The Zephyrian Empire had ruled space for 3,000 years. Their ships could destroy planets, and their weapons could cut through any known metal. These humans still used the same basic technology his people had abandoned centuries ago. Down on Earth, Commander Jake Morrison watched the alien ship through his telescope at the Orbital Defense Station. He had been in the Earth Defense Force for 15 years, and he had never seen anything so big or frightening. The alien vessel was dark against the stars, with strange lights moving along its surface like glowing insects. "Sir, we're getting a communication signal from the alien ship," said Lieutenant Kevin Hayes at the communication desk. Jake nodded. "Put it on the main screen." The viewing screen flickered and then showed the face of Admiral Kexathera. The alien looked somewhat like a human, but his skin was gray and his eyes were completely black. When he spoke, his voice sounded like metal scraping against stone. "I am Admiral Kexathera of the Zephyrian Imperial Fleet. Your planet has been selected for integration into our empire. You will surrender immediately." Captain Lisa Grant stepped forward. She was the commanding officer of the defense station and had trained her whole life for first contact with aliens. She had hoped it would be peaceful. "We are Captain Lisa Grant of the Earth Defense Force. We request the chance to negotiate peaceful terms." The alien admiral looked at her for a moment, then began to laugh. The sound was horrible, like breaking glass mixed with screaming metal. "Negotiate? Look at your pathetic ships, human. We have seen your military records. Your largest warship carries weapons that could not scratch the paint on our smallest fighter." Captain Grant felt her face turn red with anger, but she kept her voice calm. "We may not have your advanced technology, but we are a peaceful species. Surely we can find a way to coexist." "Peaceful?" Admiral Kexathera laughed again. "We have watched your planet for months. You fight wars among yourselves constantly. You pollute your own air and water. You are barely more advanced than the primitive creatures we use as slaves on our mining worlds." The alien commander turned to someone off-screen. "Show them what real power looks like." Suddenly, a beam of bright green light shot out from the alien ship. It struck a small asteroid that was floating near Earth's moon. The rock, which had been there for millions of years, simply disappeared in a flash of light. "That was our smallest weapon," Admiral Kexathera said with a cruel smile. "Our main cannon could crack your moon in half. Do you still wish to negotiate?" Back on Earth, billions of people watched the broadcast on their televisions and computers. In New York City, crowds gathered in Times Square, staring up at the giant screens showing the alien ship. Some people cried, others prayed, and many just stood in shocked silence. President William Cross sat in the White House Situation Room with his top advisors. General Carl Hayes, the head of Earth's military forces, looked at the satellite images of the alien ship with worry in his eyes. "Mr. President," General Hayes said quietly, "our entire nuclear arsenal might not be enough to damage that ship, and we have no idea how many more ships they have." The president nodded slowly. "What are our options, General?" "Very limited, sir. We could try to fight, but it would likely mean the end of human civilization. Or we could surrender and hope they treat us fairly." Meanwhile, news reporter Peter Davis stood outside the United Nations building in New York. Behind him, diplomats from every country rushed in and out of meetings, trying to find some solution to humanity's greatest crisis. "This is Peter Davis, reporting from the UN," he said into his camera. "World leaders are meeting in emergency session to decide humanity's response to the alien ultimatum. The question everyone is asking is simple. Do we fight an enemy we cannot defeat, or do we surrender our freedom to save our lives? Back on the alien ship, Admiral Kexthera was growing impatient. He had expected the humans to surrender immediately after seeing his demonstration of power. Instead, they seemed to be wasting time with meetings and discussions. Humans are even more foolish than I thought, he told Commander Veltar. They act as if they have choices in this matter. Should we destroy one of their cities to speed up their decision? Veltar asked. The Admiral considered this. Not yet. Their terror amuses me, but I will give them exactly 72 hours to surrender completely. After that, we will begin bombarding their major population centers until they beg for mercy. He opened the communication channel to Earth again. Captain Grant's worried face appeared on his screen. I grow tired of waiting, Admiral Kexthera announced. You have 72 hours to surrender your planet unconditionally. Every government must lay down their weapons and prepare for occupation. If you refuse, we will turn your cities to ash and your oceans to steam. This is not a negotiation. This is your only warning. The transmission ended, leaving the humans alone with their fear and their seemingly impossible choice. Around the world, military leaders looked at their primitive weapons and knew they faced an enemy beyond their ability to fight. But deep underground in hidden bunkers, other humans were making very different preparations. For 20 years, they had been waiting for this day, building weapons the aliens had never seen and could not imagine. The Zephyrians thought they knew everything about human military capability. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, General Carl Hayes walked through corridors that did not exist on any public map. The underground facility stretched for miles in every direction, hidden from the world above by layers of rock and the most advanced stealth technology Earth had ever developed. Only 50 people in the entire world knew this place existed. Dr. Rodriguez, are the ships ready? General Hayes asked as he entered the main laboratory. The room was massive, filled with computer screens and strange machines that hummed with quiet power. Dr. Elena Rodriguez looked up from her workstation. She had been the lead scientist on Project Ghost for 15 years, ever since the government had given her unlimited funding and complete secrecy. General, all 47 ships passed their final tests yesterday. The quantum stealth fields are working perfectly. The general nodded and walked to the large window that looked out into the underground hangar. Below them sat sleek ships unlike anything the public had ever seen. They were dark gray and shaped like arrows, with smooth surfaces that seemed to bend light around them. Even standing still, they were hard to look at directly. These don't look anything like our public fleet, General Hayes said. That's the point, Dr. Rodriguez replied. We've been very careful to keep our real technology separate from what the world sees. Every rocket launch, every space station, every military ship that the aliens have observed is exactly what it appears to be. Old technology using chemical, fuel, and basic weapons. Commander Beth Parker joined them at the window. She was the leader of Ghost Squadron, the most secret military unit in human history. For 5 years, she and her pilots had trained to fly ships that could become completely invisible to any known detection method. General, my pilots are ready, Commander Parker said. We've run thousands of practice missions. The aliens will never see us coming. Dr. Rodriguez activated a holographic display that showed the technical details of their hidden fleet. General, let me explain how we built these ships. It all started with the Roswell crash in 1947. The government recovered alien technology, but they kept it completely secret. For decades, our best scientists studied every piece of that crashed ship. The hologram showed the wreckage of an alien craft, its strange metal twisted and broken. We learned how to copy their power systems, their metal, and most importantly, their stealth technology. But we made it better. General Hayes studied the display. Better how? The aliens use basic invisibility fields that hide ships from sensors, Dr. Rodriguez explained. Our quantum stealth fields do much more. They hide us from all forms of detection. Heat sensors can't see us. Gravity detectors can't find us. Even if an alien ship flew right through the space where we're hiding, their computers would show nothing there. Captain Tony Miller entered the room carrying a thick folder of intelligence reports. He was the head of the military intelligence team that had been studying alien communications for months. "General, we've been listening to their transmissions. They have no idea we possess any advanced technology. What are they saying about us?" General Hayes asked. Captain Miller opened his folder. "They think we're completely primitive. In their reports to their home fleet, they describe us as barely capable of spaceflight. They're treating this as a simple occupation mission, not a military campaign." Commander Parker smiled grimly. "That arrogance will be their downfall." Dr. Rodriguez brought up another hologram showing the weapon systems built into the hidden ships. "We reverse-engineered their plasma cannons, but we made some improvements. Our weapons charge faster and hit harder than the original alien designs." "How is that possible?" General Hayes asked. "Human engineering," Dr. Rodriguez said proudly. "We don't just copy alien technology. We study it, understand it, and make it better. Our plasma cannons use a different power cycling system that increases their output by 30%. Lieutenant Amy Foster walked over from the communications station. She had been monitoring alien transmissions around the clock since their ship arrived. "General, I've been listening to their internal communications. They're completely relaxed. The alien admiral keeps joking with his crew about how easy this conquest will be." "What kind of jokes?" Commander Parker asked. "He told his weapons officer that their main gun is powerful enough to destroy our entire fleet, but it would be like using a sword to kill an ant," Lieutenant Foster said. "He also said that after they conquer Earth, they plan to use our ships as museum pieces to show how primitive some species can be." General Hayes felt his anger rising, but he kept his voice calm. "Let them underestimate us. It will make our victory easier." Dr. Rodriguez activated another display showing the alien ship in orbit above Earth. "General, we've been scanning their vessel constantly. It's powerful, but it has weaknesses. Their shields are designed to deflect the types of weapons they've encountered before. They've never faced quantum-enhanced plasma weapons fired from multiple invisible ships at the same time." "Are you certain our weapons can penetrate their shields?" General Hayes asked. "Absolutely," Dr. Rodriguez said. "We've run computer simulations, using their exact shield frequencies. Our weapons will cut through their defenses like a hot knife through ice." Captain Miller showed the general a tactical map of the solar system. "Sir, the alien ship is completely alone. Their main fleet is weeks away. They sent only one cruiser because they expected no resistance." Commander Parker studied the map. One ship against 47. Even if their vessel is more advanced, those odds heavily favor us. General Hayes made his decision. "Begin Operation Ghost Protocol. Move all ships to attack positions, but maintain full stealth. We wait until the last possible moment before the deadline." "Why wait?" Commander Parker asked. "Because I want the whole galaxy to see what happens when someone threatens Earth," General Hayes said. "We're going to broadcast this battle to every alien species in known space. They need to understand that humanity is not helpless prey." Dr. Rodriguez began activating systems throughout the facility. "General, all ships will be in position within 18 hours. The quantum stealth fields will keep us completely hidden until we're ready to attack." As alarms began sounding quietly throughout the underground base, hundreds of pilots and crew members ran to their secret ships. They had trained for this moment their entire adult lives, but none of them had ever expected to use their skills in actual combat against an alien invasion force. The Zephyrian Empire thought they were facing a weak, primitive species with outdated technology and no real military capability. In a few hours, they would discover that humans had been preparing for this war for 78 years, and that Earth's true military power had been hidden in plain sight the entire time. 24 hours remained until the alien deadline. Around the world, television cameras showed people gathering in city squares and churches, many crying as they watched their leaders prepare for surrender. President William Cross stood at his podium in the White House looking tired and defeated as he spoke to the nation. "My fellow Americans and citizens of Earth," the president said slowly, "after careful consideration with world leaders, we have decided that resistance would only lead to the destruction of our planet. Tomorrow, we will formally surrender to the Zephyrian Empire." In living rooms across the globe, families hugged each other and wept. Children asked their parents what would happen to them under alien rule. The scene looked like the end of human independence, exactly as General Hayes had planned. Far above Earth, Admiral Kexathera watched the human broadcasts with great satisfaction. "Look at them, Commander Veltar," he said, pointing at the screen showing crowds of frightened humans. "They weep like children. This species will make excellent servants once we break their will completely. Shall we begin selecting cities for our administrative centers?" Commander Veltar asked. "Not yet," the Admiral replied. "I want to enjoy their fear a little longer. Besides, our occupation fleet won't arrive for 3 weeks. This single ship is more than enough to keep these primitives under control." What Admiral Kexathera could not see was the movement happening in the darkness around his ship. Commander Beth Parker floated in the pilot seat of her invisible vessel, checking her instruments one final time. The quantum stealth field made her ship completely undetectable, allowing her to move within a few hundred meters of the alien cruiser, without being noticed. "Ghost Leader to all units," she whispered into her headset. "Report positions." "Ghost 2 in position at coordinates Alpha 7, came the first reply. "Ghost 3 ready at Beta 4. Ghost 4 standing by at Gamma 9. One by one, 46 more pilots reported their positions. The invisible fleet formed a perfect sphere around the alien ship, each vessel hidden by technology the Zephyrians had never encountered. The trap was nearly complete. Back on Earth, Captain Lisa Grant played her role perfectly. She sent desperate messages to the alien ship, begging for mercy and asking for details about the surrender process. Each transmission made the aliens more confident that humans had accepted defeat. "Admiral," Captain Grant said during one of these fake negotiations, "our people are scared. Many are asking if you will allow us to keep our families together after the occupation begins." Admiral Kexathera laughed coldly. "Your families will serve where we decide they can be most useful. Children often make better servants than adults because they learn faster and complain less." The transmission made Captain Grant angry, but she forced herself to sound helpless. "We understand. We just want to cooperate fully with your empire." "Good," the Admiral said. "Your cooperation will determine how gently we treat your species. Resistance will result in the complete destruction of your major cities." Deep in the Colorado bunker, General Hayes watched the countdown timer on the main screen. 18 hours remained. His secret fleet was in perfect position, and the aliens suspected nothing. Dr. Rodriguez monitored the stealth fields from her control station, making small adjustments to keep every ship completely invisible. "General," Dr. Rodriguez reported, "all quantum fields are stable. The alien ship shows no signs of detecting our presence." "What about their scanning patterns?" General Hayes asked. "They're not even trying to look for threats," Captain Tony Miller said from his intelligence station. "Their sensors are focused on our public fleet and our orbital stations. They consider those our only military assets." Lieutenant Amy Foster continued listening to alien communications. "General, they're getting more relaxed by the hour. The Admiral just told his crew that this is the easiest conquest in Zephyrian history. He's planning to request more primitive species to invade because he finds it amusing." Colonel Ryan Brooks studied the tactical display showing both the visible human fleet and the invisible one. The contrast was striking. Earth's public ships looked old and weak compared to the alien cruiser, while the hidden fleet appeared far more advanced than anything the Zephyrians had ever built. "Colonel," General Hayes said, "begin final preparations for the attack. I want every ship ready to fire the moment we decloak." "Yes, sir," Colonel Brooks replied. "All plasma cannons are charged and targeting systems are locked onto the alien vessel." As night fell over half of Earth, people gathered to watch what they believed would be their last hours of freedom. In Times Square, millions of people stood silently, looking up at the stars where the alien ship waited. Similar scenes played out in London, Tokyo, Moscow, and every other major city. But in space, Commander Parker and her invisible fleet prepared for the most important battle in human history. Each pilot ran through their final checks, knowing that the next few minutes would determine whether humanity remained free or became slaves to an alien empire. "Ghost Leader to base, Commander," Parker transmitted. "All units report ready for Operation Ghost Protocol." "Copy that, Ghost Leader," General Hayes replied. "You are cleared to begin the attack sequence on my command." Admiral Kexathera stood on his bridge, looking down at Earth with the satisfaction of a predator about to devour its prey. He had no idea that 47 human ships surrounded him, their weapons aimed at his vessel, waiting for the order to fire. The alien commander checked his chronometer. 12 hours remained until the surrender deadline. He decided to get some rest before tomorrow's victory celebration. As he walked toward his quarters, he passed the weapons station where his gunner was preparing for a demonstration of power. "Sir," the gunner said, "should we destroy one of their orbital stations as a warning?" "Not yet," Admiral Kexathera replied. "Let them spend their last night of freedom in terror. Tomorrow we will show them what it means to defy the Zephyrian Empire." He had no way of knowing that humans had spent 78 years preparing for this moment, and that Earth's true military strength was about to be revealed in the most dramatic way possible. 1 hour remained until the alien deadline when Admiral Kexathera decided he had waited long enough. The human surrender broadcasts had entertained him, but now he wanted to remind them what would happen if they changed their minds at the last moment. "Commander Veltar," the Admiral called from his command chair, "target the Luna colony. Charge the main cannon to 50% power." "Sir?" Commander Veltar looked confused. "I thought we were accepting their surrender." "We are," Admiral Kexathera said with a cruel smile. "But I want to destroy something before we take control. Let them watch 50,000 of their people die. It will make the survivors more obedient." The lunar surface, the colony's warning sirens began to wail. Director Paul Martinez watched the alien ship through the observation dome as its massive weapon began to glow with deadly energy. He opened a communication channel to Earth, knowing these might be his last words. "Earth Control, this is Luna Colony. The alien ship is targeting us with their main weapon. Tell our families we love them." Back on Earth, Captain Lisa Grant received the transmission at the defense station. For a moment, her careful act almost broke as she realized 50,000 innocent people were about to die. But she had to maintain the deception for just a few more minutes. "Admiral Kexathera," she said, over the communication channel, "please reconsider. Those people have done nothing wrong, they're just scientists and miners." The alien admiral laughed. "Exactly. They are weak and useless. Consider this a demonstration of what happens to those who serve no purpose in our empire." The main cannon reached full charge, bathing the Luna colony in green light. In the underground bunker on Earth, General Hayes gripped his command chair as he watched the countdown timer. 30 seconds remained until the weapon would fire. "Commander Parker," General Hayes said into his communicator, "you are authorized to begin the attack. Execute Operation Ghost Protocol now." High above Earth, Commander Parker heard the order she had been waiting 5 years to receive. "All Ghost units, this is Ghost Leader. Decloak on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark." 47 quantum stealth fields collapsed simultaneously. In the space around the alien cruiser, human ships materialized like deadly phantoms becoming solid. The sleek vessels appeared from every direction, their weapons already charged and aimed at the enemy ship. On the alien bridge, every alarm began screaming at once. Sensor operators stared at their displays in shock as dozens of new contacts appeared on their screens. Commander Veltar's voice cracked as he made his report. "Admiral, we have multiple ships decloaking around us. 47 vessels. Unknown. Configuration. They were not there a moment ago." Admiral Kexathera jumped from his command chair and stared at the main screen. Human ships surrounded his cruiser in perfect formation, their dark hulls reflecting the light from his vessel's weapons. "Impossible," he whispered. "Our sensors showed empty space. These ships cannot exist." Captain Grant's voice came over the communication channel, but now it carried the confidence of a hunter addressing trapped prey. "Admiral Kexathera, you made one critical error. You assumed you knew everything about human military capability. What are these ships?" the Admiral demanded. "Where did they come from?" "These are Earth's real warships," Captain Grant replied. "The vessels you observed were exactly what they appeared to be. Old technology we wanted you to see. What you're looking at now is what we've been building in secret for 78 years. Commander Parker opened her own communication channel to the alien ship. Admiral, this is Commander Beth Parker of the Earth Defense Force Ghost Fleet. Your ship is surrounded and outgunned. Power down your weapons and surrender immediately. Admiral Kexathera looked at his tactical display. The human ships were positioned perfectly, covering every possible escape route. Worse, his sensors were finally analyzing their weapon signatures. Commander Veltar, what are our computers telling us about their armaments? Sir, Veltar said with growing panic. They're carrying plasma cannons, advanced versions of our own weapons. This should be impossible. They're a primitive species. Not as primitive as you thought, Commander Parker said. You have 10 seconds to surrender before we open fire. The Admiral's pride would not let him surrender to what he still considered an inferior species. All weapons target the nearest human ships. We are Zephyrians. We do not surrender to primitives. Your choice, Commander Parker said calmly. All units, engage the target. 47 plasma cannons fired at exactly the same moment. The night sky around Earth lit up like a new star as concentrated energy beams struck the alien cruiser from every angle. The Zephyrian shields, powerful enough to deflect any known weapon, failed catastrophically against the coordinated assault. Admiral Kexathera watched in horror as his ship's defenses collapsed. Impossible, he repeated as explosions rocked the bridge around him. We are the masters of space. We have conquered 1,000 worlds. And now you've met one you can't conquer, Commander Parker replied. The alien cruiser's hull began to crack under the sustained plasma bombardment. Internal explosions sent flames shooting through the corridors as critical systems failed one by one. The ship that had terrorized dozens of star systems was being torn apart by weapons its crew had never imagined humans could possess. Sir, Commander Veltar shouted over the noise of alarms and explosions. We have hull breaches on every deck. Life support is failing. We need to evacuate. Admiral Kexathera stared at the human ships on his screen. They maintained perfect formation, their weapons firing with deadly precision. Send a message to the Empire, he ordered as his bridge began to fill with smoke. Tell them Earth is not what we thought. These humans are dangerous. The transmission cut off as the alien cruiser's power core overloaded. The massive ship, symbol of Zephyrian military might, broke apart in a chain of explosions that could be seen from Earth's surface. Debris scattered across space as the vessel that had come to conquer humanity was completely destroyed. Commander Parker watched the destruction through her viewport. All units, cease fire. Target eliminated. Throughout human space, people who had been preparing for slavery and death instead witnessed their species' greatest military victory. The impossible had happened. Earth had defeated a galactic empire's warship using technology the enemy never knew existed. The galaxy would never underestimate humanity again. The news of Admiral Kexathera's defeat reached the Zephyrian homeworld 3 days later. Emperor Zalthek sat on his crystal throne in the capital city, staring at the battle recording that had been transmitted across the galaxy. For 3,000 years, no Zephyrian warship had been destroyed in combat. Now a single human planet had eliminated one of their most powerful cruisers. Play it again, the Emperor commanded his aide. The holographic display showed the moment when 47 human ships appeared from nowhere, surrounding the alien vessel like predators circling their prey. The Emperor watched as advanced plasma weapons, technology that should not exist on a primitive world, tore his ship apart in minutes. How many ships do they really have? Emperor Zalthek asked his military advisors. We don't know, Your Majesty, admitted General Korthax, head of the Imperial Fleet. Our intelligence report suggested they had fewer than 50 spacecraft total. But these vessels are completely different from anything we observed. They possess stealth technology more advanced than our own. The Emperor stood from his throne and walked to the massive window overlooking his capital. Below, millions of Zephyrians went about their daily lives unaware that their empire's reputation for invincibility had been shattered by a species they had dismissed as helpless. Prepare the third battle fleet, Emperor Zalthek ordered. 500 ships should be enough to deal with these humans regardless of their hidden technology. Meanwhile, on Earth, the revelation of the Ghost Fleet had changed everything. President William Cross addressed the United Nations as humanity revealed the true extent of their secret military program to their own people. "My fellow humans," the president said to the packed assembly hall, "for 78 years our species has been preparing for this day. Since the Roswell incident in 1947, we have known that we were not alone in the universe. We have used that time wisely." General Hayes stood beside a holographic display showing the underground facilities that existed beneath major cities around the world. "Ladies and gentlemen, Operation Ghost Protocol was just the beginning. We have been building defensive systems and advanced spacecraft in complete secrecy for decades." The audience gasped as the display revealed the true scope of humanity's hidden military strength. Underground shipyards, weapons factories, and training facilities existed on every continent. The public fleet that the aliens had observed represented less than 5% of Earth's actual military capability. Dr. Elena Rodriguez explained the technology to the assembled diplomats. "We didn't just copy alien designs, we improved them. Our quantum stealth fields are undetectable by any known sensor array. Our plasma weapons are 30% more powerful than the original Zephyrian models." Commander Beth Parker, now promoted to Admiral, described the ongoing expansion of the Ghost Fleet. "We currently have 200 stealth vessels in various stages of construction. Within 6 months, we will have 500 ships capable of invisible operation anywhere in the solar system." Across the galaxy, other alien species were reassessing their opinions of humanity. The Altarian Republic, which had ignored Earth's attempts at diplomatic contact, suddenly sent urgent messages requesting trade agreements. The Centauri Collective, previously dismissive of human technology, offered to share their advanced medical knowledge in exchange for stealth field designs. Captain, Tony Miller's intelligence networks reported massive fleet movements throughout Zephyrian space. "General Hayes," he reported during a briefing at the Colorado facility, "our deep space sensors are detecting significant military activity in the Empire. They're mobilizing their third battle fleet." "How many ships?" General Hayes asked. 500 vessels, sir. Dreadnoughts, battlecruisers, and support craft. It's one of the largest fleets ever assembled." General Hayes nodded calmly. "Then we'll need to show them that numbers alone won't guarantee victory." Dr. Rodriguez had been working around the clock on new weapon systems. "General, I have something that might interest you. We've developed quantum torpedoes that can phase through normal shields and detonate inside enemy ships." "How many do we have?" General Hayes asked. "Enough to equip our entire fleet, with plenty left over for the new ships under construction." Lieutenant Amy Foster continued monitoring alien communications. The intercepted transmissions revealed growing concern throughout the Zephyrian Empire. "General, they're calling emergency sessions of their military council. Some of their commanders are suggesting that Earth might be too dangerous to conquer." "And the others?" General Hayes asked. "They want to mobilize their entire fleet and turn Earth into an asteroid field." Colonel Ryan Brooks studied the tactical projections for the coming battle. "Sir, even with our technological advantages, 500 ships will be a serious challenge. We'll need to use every advantage we have." So General Hayes called a meeting of Earth's military leaders from around the world. Representatives from every nation gathered in the secret facility, many seeing the hidden fleet for the first time. "The Zephyrian Empire has ruled the galaxy for 3 millennia, General Hayes told the assembled officers. "They've conquered hundreds of worlds and enslaved billions of beings. But they've never faced an enemy that could strike from the shadows and disappear before they could respond." Admiral Parker outlined the defensive strategy. "We won't meet them in open battle where their numbers give them an advantage. Instead, we'll use hit-and-run tactics. Strike fast, destroy their ships, and vanish before they can return fire." Dr. Rodriguez demonstrated the new weapons and defensive systems that would give humanity an edge in the coming conflict. "Every advantage we gain comes from human innovation. We don't just use alien technology. We make it better." As reports came in of the approaching Zephyrian fleet, people around the world watched the skies with a mixture of fear and hope. They had learned that their species was far more capable than anyone had imagined. But they also knew that the real test was still coming. In the hidden shipyards beneath Earth's surface, workers labored around the clock to complete new vessels. The Ghost Fleet was growing larger every day, its invisible ships preparing to defend humanity's freedom against an empire that had never known defeat. The galaxy was about to learn that Earth was no longer the helpless prey that predators could devour at will. Humanity had spent decades preparing for this war, and they intended to win it on their own terms, using weapons and tactics their enemies could not anticipate or counter. The age of human expansion into the stars had begun,